Hi, I'm Stacey and I'm a therapist here at Horizon. Today I want to talk about something that affects so many people, and that's addiction. And not just the addiction you might think of, such as alcohol, drugs, gambling or sex, but also the more hidden ones: food, social media, validation, work, or even toxic relationships. What if I told you that addiction isn't about being weak, selfish or out of control, but about pain, about unmet emotional needs, and about disconnection? So let's explore addiction through a different lens, the lens of attachment. Addiction is often seen as a behaviour problem, but really it's a coping strategy. It's a way we try to regulate emotions, to numb pain, or to feel something when we feel nothing. Gabor Mate, a renowned addiction expert, says, "Don't ask why the addiction, ask why the pain." And that question opens the door to something deeper. For many people, addiction starts as a way to survive emotionally, to escape overwhelming feelings, loneliness, trauma, or unmet attachment needs from early life. As humans, we are wired for connection. From birth, we need to feel safe, loved, and emotionally held. When those needs go unmet through neglect, trauma, loss, or inconsistency, we learn to adapt. We learn to soothe ourselves however we can. For some, that might look like controlling food. For others, it might be reaching for a drink after work each night. For some, it's endlessly scrolling, binging, or chasing a high. Why? Because those things offer a sense of relief, a temporary escape, a false sense of control in an otherwise chaotic inner world. In a way, addiction becomes a substitute for connection, a way to feel something predictable, even if it's harmful. Shame, stigma, and the silence. Here's the hard part. The more we struggle with addiction, the more shame we carry. And shame thrives in secrecy. We hide, we isolate, we feel like we're the problem. But here's the truth. Addiction isn't a moral failing, it's an adaptation to pain. When we stop judging the behaviour and start listening to the need underneath it, something shifts. We realise the person struggling isn't broken, they're hurting. And this is where therapy comes in, not to fix the addiction, but to create a space where healing can begin. In therapy, we don't just look at the habit, we look at the why. What need is the addiction meeting? What pain is it soothing? What stories are you carrying about yourself that need rewriting? Therapy offers a safe, non-judgmental space to unpack those stories, to reconnect with your emotional world, and perhaps most importantly, to build new, healthier ways to regulate, relate, and feel seen. We're not just talking about behaviour change, we're talking about relational healing, about replacing destructive patterns with real connection. Addiction isolates, but healing happens in connection. This doesn't mean you need a perfect support system overnight, but even one safe, consistent relationship, therapeutic or otherwise, can start to rebuild trust and safety. When we feel seen, when we feel heard, when someone shows up consistently and compassionately, our nervous system starts to believe, maybe I don't need to numb anymore. Maybe I can feel this and survive. And it's not always a quick fix. Healing is messy, non-linear and deeply human, but it is possible. So if you're struggling with addiction or someone you love is, please hear this. You're not weak, you're not broken. You are doing what you can to cope with pain that may never have fully been acknowledged. And that pain deserves compassion. And you don't have to do it alone. Therapy, connection, support, these things can slowly help you come home to yourself. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If this resonated with you, reach out, whether it's for yourself or a loved one, or just to start a conversation. Call 01752 221119 to find out how we can support you.